Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Solutions Brewing podcast. This is actually a rare episode. There's only two people on today. It's myself, Stephen, and Rob.
That's right.
Yeah,
Two
Brendan
cool guys.
is. Yeah, Brendan's off in the field, doing work and drinking beer at various breweries because he said that he gave us a message earlier saying he was at Folding Mountain Brewery, which is in
Jasper.
Is that Jasper? Yeah.
Just
So
not. It's not in Jasper. It's like was it like northwest of Jasper?
I think it's closer to Hinton than it is.
Yeah,
Jasper.
there we go. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, which makes sense. He his field is up in the Edson, that sort of area. So, lucky bastard, he's having some good beers tonight.
Yeah. I've never been to Folding Mountain. I actually want to get out there. Like the last few times we made it when we were at the Jasper Beer Festival. Like, oh man, I totally want to go there. And like I can't remember. I think they're closed or something like that when we want to go. Because I think they're closed on Sundays, which is when the show's over, you're packing up, and you're like, oh, maybe like go swing by there for some lunch and a beer or something. But I think they're closed on the Sunday.
I think so, and it's because they're a fairly remote location. So
yeah, well, it makes total sense. I'm not upset about it. It's just.
But yeah, I think me and Brendan were planning to do it last time because when we were leaving Jasper, because we had to, instead of heading down the nice dry highway that we didn't know was active from Calgary to Jasper through Lake Louise and all that, Highway 93, we took the long way. And then we had to go the long way back because we had to drop off a whole bunch of beers for our promotion that we had in March.
Oh, right. Yeah, you went up to Edmonton and then you cut over. That's right. Yeah, okay.
And so we were going to stop at Folding Mountain and be like, okay, it's in the morning, but we'll leave and we'll get something. And no such luck. They were closed. And we're like, nuts. That's okay, though. But what we're talking about today is a very exciting beer that's going to be coming out very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you take it away, Rob?
Yeah. So the four Airdrie breweries, Atlas, 948, and Balzac Brewing, plus ourselves, Solutions, we all met together and we're going to do a collaboration beer. We were hoping Cody from Fitzsimmons would still show up and we'd still include him in some way, but he didn't show up, unfortunately. So
he might have had something happen or something. Who knows?
You know what? I don't know what his story is. It's hard to get in touch with him, and then even Kyle from 948, who does message him fairly regularly, he doesn't even hear from him. So someone who doesn't talk to him very often, such as like myself, I'm not going to get a response from him at all.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that. So
right. So it's unfortunate. So the beer's next four exits, which is kind of neat in terms of both for the number of breweries involved and also for the actual number of exits that are going to be in Airdrie. So there were three. There's a bridge under construction right now, which is going to be the fourth exit. Mm-hmm. It's going to be completed. The last I heard from the city was like October 15th or 17th.
Oh, that's literally a month away.
Today's the 19th. We're recording on the 19th. But, so really close. So on the weekend, we started a Feist beer, which is a lager style of beer. So this will be perfect because it'll ferment and it has until that time to complete. And we'll be able to release it with the opening of the bridge.
Nice. So Feist beer, that's a German style malty beer, if I recall correctly. So that'll be very good and very season appropriate for drinking.
That's right. Yeah. It should be really nice. Should be very, very tasty. It smelled delicious when we were brewing it. It smelled great.
Oh, that's good. Because so we're using 948 system to brew it, but then all the other breweries threw in some like malt and hops and all that. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we all contributed. We all contribute not only the recipe ideas, but also the ingredients and labor, right? So everyone went to 948 to do this. That was really funny. This is the first collaboration brew I've done. And really it was Kyle who did the majority of the work. Because he's obviously we're brewing off of his system, so it makes sense that he's doing the brew. So he was kind of like the overseer, and then I just did stuff like I helped with the cleaning and any like heavy lifting. So by the time I got there, he said to show up at 11. I got there at 11, and by the time I showed up, he had already milled all the grain. I was like,
Oh,
I was going to help with the milling and grain, so I could like at least help with the like carrying bags and stuff, right? It was already
and
done,
that's
so
like,
he had it in these bins. So what I did was for the mash was he was stirring
mm.
the mash to like make sure there are no dough balls, but I was dumping in all the bins. So I mean, I at least did the heavy lifting, and then like I said, I helped with some of the cleaning and stuff like that.
For that size, like how many pounds is that? That's gotta be like 150 pounds or 100 pounds.
I can't remember what it was, but it was more than that. I think it was like 170 kilos or something like that. It was a lot of grain.
170 kilos. Holy crap.
Yeah, man.
All right then. Okay, so you got a little workout then on that day.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So it was a joke. Was there was the majority of it was in these larger bins, and then there was a little bit left that was only in like a little bucket, like those Canadian Tire buckets kind of things. Like those like big paint buckets, like a 5-gallon bucket kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were doing pictures for we were joking around doing pictures for social media, and I was laughing that they did all the heavy lifting because it showed Dylan from Balzac and oh my god, and Mike from Atlas, who were like both lifting that one little bucket into the mash tun. So I snapped a picture. I was just laughing because it's like I lifted the other like 6 or 7 bins of whatever they were.
Oh yeah, so
and then they shared the one bin, one bucket.
What 1 5-pounder or 5-galloner? Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because for our listeners, for scale, our brews when we do it in our system is like 1 to 2 of those 5-gallon buckets. That's what we do. So his is about 16 times the size of ours. Roughly.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, you think we're doing 50 liters?
Yeah, 50,
so this
60.
brew is going to be 800 liters.
Yeah.
So so scale.
Oh, we'll get there someday. So yeah, like how was the rest of it though? Because after you get everything in there, it's like basically mashing and sparging and all that. How was the rest of it go?
It's just like homebrew. Well, it was like you do something and then wait. So like you get the mash in there and then you're waiting for you're letting it sit for an hour. So you just drink beer and shoot the shit. That's really what happened. So Brad from Balzac also came by, and he brought by some beer that they made they made a red ale that they had aged in wine oak barrels.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
It was really tasty. It was quite delicious. And I was surprised to hear it was only like I think I had to ask. They asked it was like a 5%, but it tasted boozier than that, and that would be because of the wine flavors that are coming through. It made it taste stronger than it really was.
Yeah, you be in some of those tannins and some of those other esters.
Yeah, actually, it's quite the tannins specifically were quite strong. But it was delicious. I liked it. It was very flavorful. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and then before we even started doing anything, we go there. Mike and I got there the earliest, and Kyle's like, "You need to help me finish this keg. It's almost done. He's like pouring beers until the tap emptied out. Well, it wasn't very many. It was like there was enough to give us actually like one each, and then I think
a foam afterwards and stuff.
Yeah, and then there's nothing left, so it worked out. But yeah, it was funny. It's like, oh man, this is so hard. Such hard work.
I need you to show up, and I need you to help me drink beer.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. This is so hard. I think I'll be able to help you.
Ben, like I swear, my arm hurts from him twisting it behind my back so hard.
Oh yeah, that rubber arm of yours. Okay, so yeah, Feist beer is gonna be up and ready, and like yeah, it's like we're going to have it, and we're the plan is for us at least is that we're going to try and get into a couple of the restaurants in Airdrie with this beer, correct?
Yes, I'm in chats with Main Street here in Airdrie. So people who don't know what Main Street is, maybe you're more familiar with, you might have heard of South Block or Hayden Block. So it's the same people that own all three.
Oh, okay.
So South Block is an actual brew pub. They actually do all the brewing, and they also do the smoked meats and stuff there. Hayden Block also has the smoked meats, and so does Main Street. And these 3 restaurants all serve the beer from South Block, right? Okay. And in Main Street, they also do some guest taps, and I'm trying to get in there on some guest taps. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, I'm there almost, not should say almost. I'm there like once or twice a week. I'm going there for like wing night, and I usually go there for brunch or something on the weekend. So,
Yeah, it's your local watering hole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fair walk from where I am, but it's a nice walk. Like when the weather's nice, it's like you can walk there, have a few beers, and then I can walk home. I don't have to worry about driving.
Oh, see, that's perfect then, because it's just like, yeah, you go and you're like, yeah, it's your I wouldn't say your neighborhood pub, but it's your close enough pub.
Yeah, I mean, I consider Airdrie as one big neighborhood. It's not a super huge town.
Yeah, well, it's like 80,000 people. It still thinks like it's a small town, but it's a bigger town than it thinks it is.
I find that like actually this Airdrie, for the size of it, has quite a few large amenities, like large city amenities. Like I've been really impressed with the quality of restaurants that are here.
See, and that's the thing, you got to get off of the usual tracks there, because usually Airdrie's a drive-through community for most people, because you're the QE2 and you're heading to Calgary, you're heading away from Calgary, so you basically pop in to fill up or grab a quick bite and then you're on your way. So there's all these like little hidden gems just off the main drags.
Yeah, and I love it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, trying to get in there as a guest tap, since we don't have a tap room. So with 800 liters and 4 brews, 4 breweries, pardon me, everyone's going to get 200 liters. So that's 4 kegs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just trying to do what I can to see if we can work out some kind of deal to get them somewhere.
Yeah, because it's being made. We want to sell it and get it out there. So that's what we're looking for. Yeah. Well, I was going to say I have some.
So for our listeners, if you guys want it at Main Street, start bugging them. Tell them like, hey, Solutions is getting this collaboration. Tell them you want it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll try a couple spots in Cochrane as well, and just be like, hey, we've got a collaboration brew coming out for breweries. If you want to, put it on your tap, because.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to double check with Main Street. I think they're worried that I want the permanent tap, when really I just want like a temporary one.
Yeah,
I just want 1 or 2 kegs, and then when they're gone, they're gone. That's it. You can put whatever else you want back on there. But yeah, I was just hoping they can do it for like this one-time special kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I just checked, in 2022, Airdrie did have a population of 80,000.
Yes. Yes. It's already above that. I think we were starting to get close to 100,000 here, but.
Well, you guys got to stop building. You're building like this. The south part of Airdrie is going to touch Balzac here pretty quick.
It's getting there. I mean, Balzac's not helping that problem either. There's actually a huge development in Balzac that's happening. That they're building a bunch of homes. There's a bunch of land there getting ready for residential development.
Actually, so this is actually, funnily enough, we have a photographer that we do like family pictures every year to 2 years, and there's a spot that she likes that she was a partnership of that was literally between Airdrie and Balzac. It was a farm, or it was a farm at one point in time. So what these people did is the whole house was set up for pictures, so all the rooms were staged in certain ways, and then outside there's like old vehicles, old buildings, fields, so they would plant corn and sunflowers. So you could like get shots like with the natural flowers or the sunflowers or the corn, all that. And they're closing because I think the land that they were on is part of that new development that's going in near Balzac. Right. So yeah, we're going out for like one last time this year at this specific spot. And after that, like, it'll get torn down and it'll get turned in residential. But our photographer was like, oh yeah, it's this location. I was like, oh yeah, like, that whole corridor is just getting built up.
Yeah, man, it's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if one day like Calgary and Airdrie would be almost like Edmonton and St. Albert, where it's just like touching borders.
Yeah, so it's like it's a bedroom community that's like the greater part of areas, like Toronto, because Toronto's got like God knows how many towns are part of it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that's good. So collaboration brew is done. And then unfortunately, we got some bad news from Brendan about his non-alcoholic beer.
Yes.
So sad.
Yes. He brewed a non-alcoholic beer, and it's fermented, and I think he finished it. I think he maybe was sitting in a carboy, and he was waiting to see, just to double check.
No, he'd actually thrown it into the keg and carbed it, because it was last weekend. Or maybe the weekend before, but very recently, I was out there and he had just carbed it that day. So I was like, okay, we'll wait. So he was going to let it wait for a week, and then he tried it, and yeah, something else got on it. So
that's unfortunate. Yeah. So unfortunately, we won't be able to talk about that one or say how it tastes, because he dumped it.
Yeah, he dumped it. So he's going to rebrew it, I think, because this is the pilot brew before we use our nice new non-alcoholic yeast. So
which we just received, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that recipe is good to go before we use it on this yeast. So unfortunate, but I guess we're going to get another Grainfather story or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be with his new vessel, since he's got that new fermentation.
Yeah, he's got that new conical fermenter.
Yeah, super fancy. Yeah. For our listeners, it's one that can. It's basically you do your fermentation in, but then it's also pressure rated. So what can happen is you can.
Oh, did he actually do the pressure one too?
Yes, he did. Because very specifically, because he wants to get rid of all his carboys and stuff.
Okay, so basically he got a unitank then.
Yeah. Hence why it was like $700 or something. It was.
Yeah, that would explain it.
It was not cheap. It was definitely not cheap. But as a result, once it's done fermenting and it'll build up some pressure with the gas, he can remove the yeast at the bottom. So it's just the beer left in there, and it'll self-carbonate to a point, usually about a couple pounds worth of pressure, depending how vigorous the yeast was. So when you transfer it, you don't have to add that much extra carbonation or anything like that. So, and then ideally, like you actually it's a fermentation tank and a bright tank for carbonation in the same thing. That's what I think he's hoping for, but I don't know if he's going to get to that with the scale he's at.
Right.
But yeah, we'll probably have another episode of him having some kind of shenanigans or something with that system here soon.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can tie that in with their other ones. So, I mean, we're planning to do a alcoholic versus non-alcoholic beer test. I think we kind of mentioned this last time. Did we mention it on the last podcast?
I think we did. This last episode or the episode before, we were gonna. Yeah, because it was the reverse osmosis one, because we were going to talk about the direct comparison of the alc and non-alc versions of beer.
Yeah. So basically, I picked up some beers from Tool Shed. They have a People Skills and they have a Red Rage, and then they also have the non-alcoholic versions of those same beers. So I picked up all of those, and we'll do a comparison. Yeah. Do another in-person recording. It'll be a good time. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we get to do that outside hopefully the weather holds up for a little bit longer, but
yeah, we'll see. It's picking up my son today from daycare. I got rained on, and it was a cold, and it reminded me of being on the East Coast again. And it's like, freaking falls here.
Yeah, man. But it's good weather for hot tub, and I turned the hot tub back on, and it's great.
Oh yeah.
I've been in there a few times already. Yeah.
Nope, 'tis the season.
Yeah, buddy. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got for today.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to get in touch with us, you can get a hold of us on our website at solutionsbrewing.com. There's a contact us page there, which sends us an email, noproblems@solutionsbrewing.com, or you can hit us up on social media at Solutions Brewing Co., which is good for Facebook or Instagram.
You're so well trained now. I didn't even give you.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't want to do the prompt. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
I gave you space so you could ask me, because I haven't done one in a while.
I was tempted. I almost did it. I was
like, you should have. I was mentally preparing, because I was like, I got this. Also, again, we have 3 of our beers on our web store, so feel free to go on there and make orders. We do deliveries on Thursdays, or sometimes, depending if we can work out, we can do it sometimes a bit sooner. But yeah, go have our delicious beers because they are delicious.
Yes, cold and available.
Cold and available.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks.